When you score, you make the West Ham sings. Jimmy on the wing, Jimmy, Jimmy on the wing. Every time you're on the ball, we know it's gonna be a goal. Your real name is Crescencio. La da da da, la da 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 dum, la da 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 dum, la da 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 dum, la da da da. Welcome to Claret and Booze. I hope you enjoy the show. Come on, you irons. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll change this layout up for now. There we go. We've got a new panel tonight. Well, you've seen Jay, but we've got Sam from Baz Vegas from our morning show. You'd have seen his silly little videos in the middle of mine. And we've also got Luigi, who should be joining us as well. So John can't be here because he's been invaded by Danish Vikings. His in-laws have come over for his missus' birthday, so he's got nowhere in the house to record. And Micky, it's his birthday weekend, and so he'll be back next weekend.
Happy birthday, Mick.
Yeah, happy birthday, Mick. But we go to Sam. How are you, mate? Thank you very much for joining us. You all good?
Yeah, not a problem, mate. Not a problem. Yep, I am all good. All good. Like I say, it's big landmark for me today. 10 years sober. So yeah, and to top it off, first show reviews, brilliant. Couldn't have asked for anything more.
It is brilliant, mate. It is, and it is literally today. 10 years, isn't it?
4th of August, yeah, 4th of August.
Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable, mate. Well done.
Brilliant.
Well done. So no drink, just drugs for 10 years. It's been fine.
Nothing. Yeah, I do everything else.
Yeah.
Why? You say? Are you saying that you got anything?
Do you know what? I showed Jill your video that you done for Circle earlier on.
Yeah.
And she was taking it. She raised a glass. She went, "Oh, cheers, Sam." I said, "You nasty bitch, you nasty bitch." Yeah,
I like her. I like her already. So someone wrote to me earlier. They wrote on there, "Oh, congratulations, mate! 10 years. That's not to be sniffed at." Quality. I thought quality. Brilliant.
It's brilliant. Jay, how are you, mate?
All good. And I'm on the chats tonight, so I won't say too much in regards to now, other than first and foremost, shout out to Tom. We've got someone already donated something in, so thank you very much, sir.
Cheers, Tom.
Good stuff. I'm not doing pews. That's Micky's thing, so no, I'll just say, well done, Tom. Come join. But yeah, no, all good. Watched that, obviously, show the match with you last night, so I'm looking forward to having a chat and also seeing other people's take if they did stay up and watch last night's game, see what they've got to say about it and all.
I think a lot of people that didn't watch it last night watched it back today, because you didn't stay up for it, Sam, did you? You watched it this morning, didn't you?
Well, no, that's not a lie. That's sort of a lie. Or I struggled really hard to stay up.
Yeah.
Like 11 o'clock, I'm struggling. I'm like, no, I'm staying up and watching it. Got to 5 to 12, I livened myself up. Went, right, come on, I've got this, right?
Yeah.
22 seconds in, the goal went in. I went, fuck you, and went to bed. And then watched it this morning.
It didn't get any better though, like after that, because it was just. I mean, look, I don't want to sort of go. I don't want to go off on one about it too much. But it was, Palace could have been completely. It could have been 4 or 5 in the first half. It was very frustrating. We basically got battered, the same as what we did against Wolves. Somebody made a good point to me, because I've been freaking out for the last 2 weeks by virtue of the fact that Jedward have been starting in these games. David, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David Riley. Come you on.
Yeah, the fact that Jedward have been starting in midfield, and I'm thinking, fuck me, what's he doing? Is he getting them sharp? Is he doing this? But then somebody brought to my attention on the comments of my video earlier on, and it rings true. And I'm telling myself that this is factual now, because I couldn't work out why the best midfielder out of the 3, which was Potts in the first half,
by
Potts, Souček and James Ward-Prowse, why he was taken off. And when he was taken off, he was the only one, and I have checked it back, he's the only one that Lopetegui acknowledged, gave him a pat on the back. All of the others, he was scathing, he completely fucking ignored. He said he thinks, this guy, he said that was Lopetegui saying, Potts, you've done enough, this lot fucking haven't.
Well, mate, on yesterday, so go on, Sam, you go, mate. Go on.
No, No, I completely agree. Like, because Lopetegui doesn't come across one of them friendly blokes, does he? So,
no.
like Nick said, take Potts off. Congratulations, mate. You've done enough. Well done. Let's leave all these out there now to get embarrassed. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully it is that. Hopefully it is that.
He looked so composed on the ball, Potts. You know, he looked like he wanted the ball. JWP and Suchet, where were they? It was just, I was saying to you, Nick, JW, he just got the thing, he starts running headlessly down the left. Like, I don't know what he was doing yesterday. Potts held his position. He was on the turn. He was looking to like progressive pass forward. So yeah, I'm hoping Loppy's just showing the world, look, this is the jank that we're getting rid of, and I don't reckon we'll be seeing either of them come Villa. That's what.
Well, maybe not the world, because I think the world knows. Probably the West Ham world, as in Sullivan, and you know, I'm sure Tim already knows, doesn't he? But I've just got to hope. I've just got to hope that is the case. Do you think there's going to be any relevance, or do you think that the starting lineup against is it Celta Vigo that we're playing in the Betway Cup? Do you think if he starts Souček and James Ward-Prowse in that one, do you think that's out of the water? Or do you think no, he's probably going to play him now? What do you reckon?
Surely you've got to play your starting 11 against Villa in one of these games, and he ain't done it yet.
He ain't. So
it might not be complete starting 11, but it's going to be 90%, 95% of it. That's how we're going to line up. That's how I'd like to think it. But then obviously we ain't going to have Alvarez, but Potts can fill that space for a couple of games, can't they?
Well, we should have Guido Rodriguez. So there are there's two players that have had. Yeah, he's a CDM. So Rodriguez is an Argentinian CDM that was a part of the World Cup winning squad. He played about 5 minutes in the tournament, but he still got a medal. But he came from Betis, Pellegrini's old team. He's a good player. He'll
Does he walk straight in?
It's straight in without Alvarez, yeah. 100%. I think he'll go straight into CDM because he can basically do that role. He's played with Alvarez before in Mexico. So apparently they played in the same team. Rodriguez was a CDM. Alvarez was a centre-back. So they've played with each other before. They know each other. So, yeah, I think that's a good signing. It's a free. The other one that we know is having his medical is Füllkrug, as Gatesy called him. Old Füllkrug. Now, look, I'm not happy about this signing. However, I would be over the moon with the signing if it meant we also got Duran, because that is fucking different level, I think. Then I would look at it differently. Then I'd go, hang on a minute. You've then got two quality strikers with different options. I just don't want him to be the only one that we signed when our only other options are 35-year-old Antonio and 32-year-old fucking Danny Ings. And this geezer's coming in at 31. He's going to be the youngest of our three strikers.
But as he came in to be the main man, though, because it's a bit of a drop, isn't it? Going from Dortmund, Champions League football, half contending with a title.
German number 9 as well.
Yeah, German number 9. You're going to come to West Ham to sit on the bench most of the time while Duran starts, because you know if Duran comes, he ain't coming to be a bench warmer, is he? He's coming here to be the main man. So
yeah,
I don't know with it at the moment. I'm so confused with it.
Yeah, I am as well. I mean, can I give you that? Somebody left a comment on the video that I done earlier on. It's quite long. I'm going to read it, but what it done is it's kind of opened my eyes a little bit. On the video that I did, I sort of said, you know, loads of players from Germany that have come over here and have failed, Sancho, Werner, and all of that. It kind of explains that. So his name is Johnny Cunningham 3194. He says, regarding my point about Fullkrug, and the Bundesliga players, the Bundesliga is mainly made up of German players. That's funny. Most of which are defenders. Stereotypically, they are slow and unagile, but physically imposing. Players like Havertz, Werner, and Sancho thrived there because they were so agile and quick that the defenders couldn't cope with them. But they got found out in the Premier League, where teams they're comprised of more athletic players and high quality players. Whereas Füllkrug is a little different in the sense that he's consistently been a top scorer there, but without pace. He's a much better dribbler than people think, but he scored goals by out-shithousing a league full of shithouse defenders. Füllkrug is miles better than Weghorst in many facets of his game. They're not really comparable, and if you've watched the two, but when you bear this in mind, when understanding that the Lopetegui system relies on getting the ball up the pitch and controlling in between the lines, giving crosses or passing into someone to hold the ball up to lay it off. He said, I think he's going to work very well for us, but only if the team can learn the philosophy and feed him. In regards to Haller, because I mentioned Haller, he never understood why we got rid of him. He had a lot of injuries that year, but still looked decent when we played. So, yeah, so you get the gist of what he's saying. He's saying that the ones that I mentioned that failed, i.e. Werner, Sancho, so-and-so, they were brilliant in Germany because the defenders are big and slow.
Yeah, and listen, it's fair enough as well that he has got more to his game than just being a lump. This Füllkrug, like he's the way he holds the ball up. Like he's like, you know, when Antonio's on form and he's really holding the ball up well. Well, Fullkrug does this pretty much all the time. If you watch his game, he can really hold the ball up, and he's got some quick feet, quicker than you'd think as well. Like he's definitely 3 or 4 at least rungs up the ladder from where Antonio is. But the difference being Antonio's got the pace on him, but that would be it. Other than that, Füllkrug all day long, he's a much, much better striker. And he's a proper striker. Antonio's never been a proper striker, has he?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. I mean, you mentioned this the other day, Sam. You said talking about Antonio, sort of, you know, you don't think that David Moyes did Antonio any favours making him a winger, do you?
No, 100%.
Making him a striker, sorry.
Yeah, if you go back before he got transitioned into a striker, he was playing on the wings and absolutely bullying fullbacks. Like, and then he can put a decent cross in as well. So if anything, I thought he sort of took him away a little bit. Because if you left him on the wing, he would have made the England squad, and he would have made not that he's had a bad career already.
Yeah,
but he's a Premier League top goal scorer, so he's definitely done something.
Yeah,
but he's definitely missed out on something there, 100%. Because I know he's a striker. I know we're all not confident. If Antonio goes through 1-on-1 on goal and he's got time to think about it, he's probably gonna hit it straight at the.
Although the goal that he scored last night, he had a bit of time. He's very composed, you know.
Yeah, true. It's a fair shot.
Maybe he's maturing like a fine wine, you know. He's kind of.
It was Forest, Sam. It was when he was at Forest. He was on the left and he tore up the championship. That he was scoring goals from left back position sometimes, just pelting through the middle. It was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Sorry, mate, but Antonio 1-on-1 against any fullback, I'm backing Antonio.
In a foot race, or you mean to beat him?
Just in a foot race, because the thing is, even if he ain't got the trickery, he knocks it past. He'll just, if he can't run around him, he'll run fucking through him.
Yeah, it's true.
That's for Hammers.
This has come up a few times about Souček going. Someone said about him offering to a Turkish club. Now someone else saying Marino wants him. This is cheering me up. Have you heard anything about this?
Please God, no, I haven't. I mean, the news that we have got that has broke tonight via X. He's saying that the club have told Zuma to find a new club. So if he can't find a new club, they'll talk about compensation. I think he's gone, so we're not going to be seeing Zuma anymore now.
Do you reckon came across with the old Joe Gomez stories that's going about?
Yeah. What do you reckon about that, Gomez? Do you reckon we can get him?
Well, don't see why not. It all depends on him at the end of the day. Does he want to sit and play 30% of the games at Liverpool, or come to us and actually play every game and do something with his career? I know people say, oh yeah, they've won this, they've won that, but really, whatever you be involved with there, you're not. He's quite young still, isn't he? He's not exactly getting on a bit either, Gomez. I want to say mid-20s, isn't he?
I'll definitely take him. I mean, the one that worried me was when, because obviously after watching Soufal yesterday, Soufal's got to go. So obviously we're linked with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He got bloody injured last night, but apparently it's just like a head injury. He just got a bit banged up. That's the update that I've read. So they're not expecting that to hold up the deal. But I think Gomez can play right back, can't he, as well?
But he's left back.
He can do both, though, can't he? Isn't he right-footed?
Because wasn't he the Euros for the left-back situation?
Oh, he did, yeah. Yeah, he did.
I think he can play both, though, you know, Gomez. I think he's a bit Johnson in that. I think he's too. Someone could tell me I'm chatting shit, maybe, but I think he can play both. A couple of people said about the Costa player, but you touched on that, didn't you? But in regards to as an alternative to Todibo?
Costa's a midfielder, isn't it? And that the one from Barcelona that everyone's talking about at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As an alternative to Todibo, that wouldn't make sense. Would it?
Todibo's a centre back.
Defender.
Yeah, Todibo's a centre back. I'm not too. Listen, if we got Costa, it'd be fine. I don't think he's a great player, personally. I know he plays for Barcelona, but I think that's the best thing about him. If I'm being honest, I'm not personally. I'm not that taken with him. I think it's very clear though what this does prove. Obviously, we've got this Argentinian geezer coming in as a CDM. It obviously proves if we're still out there looking for midfielders now, I think that tells you what Lopetegui thinks of his current options.
This comment from Tofa, this is what I'm hoping. This can be the only reason that, if we're talking about Duran and Füllkrug about the differences, this is what I think Füllkrug will do better than Duran, which is bring others into play.
Yeah.
And you've got Jimmy down the wing. That new fucking song's brilliant, by the way.
Yeah.
But Jimmy down the wing, Bowen down the right. So Jimmy down the left, Brian down the right. And if you have got Kuds, I was listening to someone else. It was another channel earlier saying that they wouldn't want to see Paqueta in the number 8. And I was thinking, hold on.
Yeah,
that's exactly where we want to see Paqueta. Is in that number 8 role.
Good enough for Brazil, but not good enough for West Ham.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. But it was another channel. I can't remember it. I won't name the same.
I'm gonna call him out, Gio. It was you from Hammers Chat. It was.
Oh yeah, it was Gio. You're right. Yeah, I was thinking.
It was Gio. Yeah.
Where was he?
What's that? I don't know. I think maybe either a 10 or wide left, but it's
wide left.
Yeah, it's like when he was. It's like when he was linked with Man City. Do you think Man City? Do you think Pep was going to come and sort of bring it? He weren't going to go in the 10. He was going to go and sit in the 8, just in front of Rodri. That's what he was going to do.
Mate, Paqueta in that role, that 8 role, with Alvarez behind him, with Kudus next to him, and with that 3 in front of him, I think that Füllkrug, I can see where he would. I would say he's better than Duran in that circumstance, as in, right, we've got someone we can put into him who can then use the pace around him or even do a little turn himself. So yeah, I mean, if we get him, it looks like it's a definite. It can't be bad to say we've got a German number 9 that's just banged in a couple of goals at the Euros at the end of the day, really, can it?
It's a profile. It's a profile of striker. And like I said to you, I think if we got him in addition to Duran, I'd be excited about Fullkrug. I would, but I just think if you look at the way that we played yesterday, for instance, where it weren't working what we was doing, we was camp deep. Our only outlet was fucking whacking the ball up to one player up front. That player was Antonio, who's got pace. Imagine if that player's Fullkrug.
Yeah, he's not getting nowhere near it. If we're playing that football, and in fact, that's where this comment's just coming as well. Note of Fullkrug, piss poor, stopgap choice, underwhelming and demoralising choice for striker. An absolute joke. But that hit the nail on the head, didn't it?
Yeah, look, a lot of people are not happy about it, and I do get it. Because I'm sticking to my guns. I really hope he does well. I do, and I know he's looked okay, and he's looked quite mobile. If you look at, it goes back to that point really where the guy said they're big shit ass slow defenders. They ain't like that in the Premier League. They're not shit ass slow defenders. They're big, quick bastards. He's going to struggle with them. I think he is. Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out. I mean, is he an improvement on what we've already got? Ings and Antonio up front?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, definitely,
so it's an improvement. You know, that's
he scored some big goals for Germany in the Euros.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
I think a lot of the season in Borussia Dortmund last year, he was coming off the bench, weren't he? And he still scored 18 goals. So
yeah. Look, his goal return is good. I mean, the only thing that I take umbrage with is when, leave that. We'll talk about Potts now. The only thing I take umbrage with is when people have been calling him the German Harry Kane 2.0. Just to clarify, we saw Harry Kane in the Euros. Weren't good, was he? He scored 36 goals in 32 appearances in the Bundesliga last year. In 29 games, this guy scored 12. So you're getting third of a shit Harry Kane in terms of goal return.
How many starts, though?
What's that?
How many of them games were starts for him, though, and coming off the bench?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that. I don't know.
Because Harry Kane probably started 29 of them games, and that.
I would imagine so. I would imagine so. The only
I get your point though, because Kane, he looked completely he looked a level below everyone. At the Euro, he literally did. I mean, he was hardly ever in the number 9 position anyway, most of the time. So I don't know. Was that down though because England were just completely shit, mainly in general, or?
That's what I put it down to, because I know Kane likes to drop back, but if your number 9 is dropping back, you need your 2 wingers bombing forward. And if we're playing in a system where we sit back all the time, and Kane's got no one to play to, has he?
No,
I think it's a bit of both. I think. Don't get me wrong, he was shit in the Euros. He was awful, but I think a lot of it came down to style of play with us.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, John's saying he was injured from the Champions League semi, and he wasn't fit in the Euros. There is that as well. Because do you know what he weren't? Do you know what he weren't doing? Because Kane's good in the air, so Kane battling centre backs, he's good at that. You know, he'll win the battle on. So I don't remember him winning a header.
Not once.
You know, we was lumping long balls to him. It's like he couldn't jump. So, and that makes it even fucking worse for that tournament. The fact that Southgate was playing him injured, you had Tony and Watkins on the bench. You know, what more could Watkins do, for fuck's sake?
Oh, absolutely, mate. No, fucking, it was unbelievable, wasn't it? But on another positive note, Potts, mate.
Oh yes, he's been the shining light for me. Go on, Sam. What are your thoughts on Potts?
He reminds me of a certain someone. I won't say his name. We all know who I'm going on about. I hope you do.
Declan Rice.
Yeah.
JWP.
I don't get started.
Fucking he's shit. I'm sorry, I don't care.
Anyway, Potts, go on.
Yeah.
He's always looking for the ball.
Yeah.
Always given an option. Looks like he's up for the fight for the season. I really do think that loan spell last year gave him what he really needed. And hopefully he can kick on there and get some game time, which he will. Which he will. He's only young, isn't he? Is he 22?
He's younger than that, isn't he? I think he's 21. Potts.
Okay, yeah. I thought he was in a very early 20s. Yeah. And what you just said about the loan, mate. This is what I mean. My beef with the loan system at the minute is someone like Potts. He's gone out, he's grafted, he's done the loan thing. If he's not given a go this year, then what's the point of these loans? Like, I don't get the point of these loans. Like, these players are just going to think, right, okay, you put me on loan, but I ain't got a chance. Because I think you said it the other day, Nick, Johnson and Rice, the last 2 that broke the academy, neither of them went on loan.
No. No, and I do think that. I think your card's marked now in Premier League football. If you're a real talent and they think there's something in you, they ain't sending you out. They're not sending you out at all. And do you boys mind if I go on my little youth rant thing that I said the other day, because I was going to do a show on this. So look, as you all know, we was linked with Kante. I didn't want Kante, not because Kante is a shit player. He's one of the best central defensive midfielders around, probably still is. The reason I didn't want him was because I didn't want him standing in the way of Potts or of Alford. Do you know what I mean? What's that? I didn't want him standing. I didn't want him standing in the way of those players. So that's why when we're linked with this Argentinian guy, this Rodriguez, he's a free transfer. It's fine. He'll be a direct replacement for Alvarez. But you know what? With Souček and James Ward-Prowse there, I don't want Alford or Potts or Urfi being shunted out to 6th and 7th place. I don't want that, because people come around and they say they're not ready yet. They're not this, they're not that. We're quite happy to go out and get a foreign player and give a foreign player 3 months to 6 months to bed into the Premier League. But we can't allow our young players, someone, you know, like Potts or like Alford, who with games, like we saw with Declan Rice, they'll get better and better and better in every game. That's how they're going to improve. They're not going to improve if you fucking loan them out to you know, in League One. I know Potts had a good season in there. But we've seen it with Cullen. They get stuck in the system. And like I said before, Declan Rice is only this Declan Rice because he was playing in the first team between the age of 18 up until 21. If you're doing fuck all between 18, 21, 22, you're nowhere near the level of player you're going to be. Now, Potts is already there. He's at 22. He's got to play now. He's either got to play or we've got to let him go and continue his career. That's the level that he's at now. From what I've seen of Potts, I want him to be given a game. People like fucking Souček and James Ward-Prowse, I hope it is what I said earlier on that guy suggested, that he's basically leaving them on the pitch because he doesn't feel like they've proven themselves. I hope they I want them gone. I want them gone. I don't want anyone standing in the way of these kids. I'm not saying all the kids. I'm not saying I expect Alford, Potts, everyone to start. But if you think about it, if you do nurture these 3 players, Alford, Earthy and Potts, that's a 6 and 8 and a 10. If they do grow in and blossom into the players that we know that they've got the potential to grow into, because we develop them properly, that could be our midfield 3, the heart of the team, West Ham, for the next 10 years. Now, look, I know everyone likes the big foreign names. I know we do. We all love it. You go out, you get them your fucking shirt name on your back. You go out, you buy the shirt. But look, let's have it straight. These players would fuck off tomorrow if they got a better deal. They'd fuck off tomorrow. So I don't like it when people stand in their way. Our kids. Nothing felt better last season than when Earthy scored that goal.
Yeah,
because that is West Ham. He is West Ham. He's been at the club since he was 5 years fucking old. And that gives us a bit of a connection. When we've lost our home, it means something to have players that have come through that fucking academy setup. It means something to West Ham fans, or it does to me. And I'm not moaning for moaning's sake. It does mean something to me.
Mate, I want to say, you said a minute ago, I know people like foreign players. This is the thing at West Ham. We like West Ham players coming through. We fucking love West Ham players coming through. That was the best thing growing up. When you saw Noble get his day, when you saw fucking Joe Cole, when you saw, they were the days that you remembered as a West. And our generation, that's what we grew up on. So now, knowing that we got this academy that is the best fucking academy, one of the best in Europe. Like, we done well across the board, not just nationally. We went out and we done well in a couple of the games across Europe as well with our youth. Knowing we've got these players there. Look at who was it? Who was on the last show with John? The talk we did with John, and he went, what would Alex Ferguson done with our academy? Fucking hell, bro. Can you imagine?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Who's YouTube user? Someone saying we've got to ban him.
We've got to ban him. Where is it? What's he said? I know
or has somebody done it already?
I don't know. I know he was having a go about who's having a go? He was having a go at Fullkrug. He kept going at Fullkrug.
Oh, right. But, well, Amanda and Happy, you know what to do. You got the Spanish.
But see this one here. Taking the positives from last night's game. Andrew, the only positive from last night's game that I can remember was Potts. Like, other than that, and this is what we were saying, Nick, I don't see from these pre-season games so far, what can we take from them? That's the only bit I'm concerned about is what we're taking from these games.
You can't take anything off them. You can't.
Nothing.
You can't. I was speaking to Lou about it the other day, and he mentioned it. He said we had one pre-season where we won every single game, got relegated.
Avram Grant.
Yeah, and then we had another. Then the season, a few seasons after that, we lost every game and finished in the top 6.
Yeah.
So, what can you really read out of them? Not much.
I don't think you can. But what bothers me more about this pre-season is because we're going from one style to another. We're going through a transition. And I just feel like I don't care about results. I don't give a fuck if we get beat 5-0 against Palace. I care about performances. I want to see something. I didn't see anything. All I saw was stuff that made me nervous. I saw a team that didn't know how to press. I saw a shape where the players seemed confused. I'm seeing a mishmash of starting lineups where he hasn't even tried to sort of get a team to play that looks like it might start the season. I know his hands have been tied on Paqueta and Bowen because they ain't been there, but it was like the 2 games we played against Palace. Half the team played in one game, half the team played in the other. At some point, you've got to surely use pre-season as preparation to get sharpness, to get the team, to get them. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what it's for. What else is pre-season for? Especially with a new manager coming in it's going to be a new team, new philosophy, new this, new that. Is it who we got? Is it Celta Vigo we got coming up? I'm expecting
Celta Vigo, yeah.
If JWP and Souček start that game, then I'm worried. I am fucking worried because
I'm not going to be happy.
Surely, then you're going to be looking at as good your best 11 as you can, because next game is Premier League, right? After that,
yeah.
That's it, isn't it? So it's the last one.
Is it really our first 4 games? Villa battered us last year. Then you got Crystal Palace battered us last year. Man City, then Fulham.
Yeah,
not good, is it?
No. Do you know what really fucking scared me about that? And I mean everything that I said earlier on in that review. Our defence is shit like it was last year. You know, we looked a little bit toothless up front, which we did for large portions of last year. We was relying on individuals. I do blame that on the midfield. Anyone who's played football, anyone the midfield's the most important bit. Yeah. If you got the midfield right, then everything else, kind of takes care of itself. I do think that I want to try and. I don't think the defenders can be as bad as they've looked. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm not willing to write off. I know they've made individual errors. I know they have. Lots of them with Aguero and Mavropanos, even fucking Kilman.
Kilman's looked pony. No, let's have it right. Kilman has looked pony in pre-season. He has. He's not. He's the worst thing. I'm worried about him with the tag. Some players they get the big price tag and then they just fold. I hope that's not what happens with Kilman. Talkhammers, what he just said though, that's don't take too serious. I've been involved in higher level pre-season. Nobody focuses on results. But the thing is, all right, results aside.
But I said I don't care about results.
Yeah, that's what it is. But it's play. Like we did 2 or 3 quick passing passages of play over 90 minutes. That's shit. Yeah. That is terrible. Like I don't get like Palace. They didn't even look good, but they was at least pinging the ball about a bit and moving. We looked like we didn't know what to do. JWP. I know we keep saying it, but the problem is with them in midfield. You saying this earlier, right? You got them to in midfield, then you've got this gaping hole at the core of your of the pitch where you're just getting overrun both ways. You got no chance, and then you got Paul Potts having to step up and try and play like we were saying. Alvarez last season, whenever he had to play with Souček and JW, he was doing 3 people's jobs.
Oh, 100%.
Basically. It's fucking horrible to watch. So knowing that we've got, go on, bro.
No. I was just going to say, like Malcolm Jones. Like I'm not picking on you, mate, because I'm getting a lot of this from people at the moment. This pre-season has been shit. The transfer window, we've operated too slowly. It may be the case that it ends up being a fantastic window, getting in all the players that we need, but the preparation doesn't look right now. We run a channel. We've got to talk about this every day. What do you want me to do when we've just been shit? Do you want me to just come on and say, oh, it's been great? Basically, the fucking the part 1 of the review that I did earlier on, you have to say it as you see it at the moment. I have said earlier on, if you watched my review earlier, I said I don't blame Loppy. I think he's got his fucking hands full. He's got a team that have been moist to fuck. I think this team needs rebuilding to a degree. He needs almost 80% of new players. I do. I'm not blaming Lopetegui. But you can't be fucking blind to it. We've been shit. So that is what I'm trying to say to you. So when people say, oh, it's too... What the fuck do you want us to be positive about? I don't...
We touched on the positives, Nick. You have done. We've spoke about the youth. It's not just Potts. Like in the other games, you've had Earthy, you've had Alford. But in fairness, if you're going to watch... Like, if you stayed up to watch last night's game...
Oh, you're being negative. Fucking hell.
Mate, I think at the end of the day... I'm as positive as everyone. But the truth is, you watch last night's game and you can pull apart maybe 3 things where you can say, well, that looked all right. Not even that looked amazing. It just looked... That's shit. Over the course of 90 minutes, when this is when you're supposed to be impressing the new manager, impressing a new style of play... and you look like you don't know what you're fucking doing, that's a problem. That's not a positive. That is a negative.
It's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am still encouraged. What I will say is my expectations have been realigned. I'm not expecting us to crack on now and do amazing against Aston Villa. I'm really not. What you mentioned as well, Malcolm, about it's probably going to take till Christmas. You may well be right. You might well be right. It might take until Christmas. And you know what? I will give Lopetegui that time. I'm not blaming Lopetegui for the window. I'm not blaming Lopetegui for the fact that it's taken ages for us to get the fucking players in so he can have preparation. It's not his fault. He's having to use players. It should have been fucked off. They shouldn't even be here because they ain't going to be here long. These players know they're on borrowed time. So it's a very difficult situation for him. You could see how fuming he was, Sam, couldn't you? Oh, Loppy.
Livid, mate. Absolutely livid. But... Well, you said earlier about we've got Celta Vigo coming up. Do you think Lopetegui knows his best starting 11 now with the players that we've got? No, neither do I. And we've got one more friendly left for the start of the season.
I know. And that's what I mean. So when people were saying be positive about... This is the point. The whole point of pre-season is to fucking get your first 11 in place. We're nowhere near getting that first 11. Because you could pick the best 11 players... But have they played together? Have they trained together? Have they got around and got the new system in? No way. There's no fucking way that that's happened. And pre-season is showing us that. So it's not being negative. What we've seen is negative, and it's actually quite positive to pick up on it and actually be honest enough to say, no, actually, this is shit at the minute. Yes, it's great to see the youth over the fucking moon. And if they start, then pre-season's been a success for me. If it's meant that them three have come in on Villa and you're getting, even if one of them started against Villa because of pre-season, then it's been a success. But in regards to the games that we've watched, no, they've been shit. They've been shit. Awful.
They have been shit. I mean, I suppose, look, to be positive, the way that you can look at it now, we've signed Somerville, we've solved one problem. We've got rid of, we haven't got a shoehorn a player out on the left-hand side anymore. We've got a proper. I mean, the more I see of this kid, the more I see of this kid now, because I didn't know too much about him up until about 2 weeks ago, and I've looking into him more and more. Fucking hell. Really top player. Yeah. So that is delicious, whether it's Fullkrug up top, if you got Fullkrug with my dream central midfield, whether it's going to be Rodriguez, Paqueta and Kudus, as far as I'm concerned, with Bowen on the right, with Fullkrug probably down the middle, and with Somerville on the left-hand side. That's amazing. It is. You've got a bit of an issue there with Soufal. How do you think he's going to start? We've been talking 3-4-3. I don't think he's got the personnel to do it. I think we're going to see a 4-3-2-1.
Yep.
Or a 4, whatever it is.
However you want to call it. 4.
Yeah, 4-2-3-1.
4, then the V in the middle, one up front.
Yeah. I think that's what he's going to do. Because I've not been convinced with this 3 at the back, Jay, of you in pre-season.
Not in pre-season, no. And like I said, the guy that was brought in to almost spearhead this system, I need him because, this is what makes my system work. Because Lopetegui does, he starts from the back. Kilman, again, I'm glad we've got him. Yeah. I don't think 40 million was the right price, but again, it's not my money. It is what it is. But what I am scared of is that tag. With how many players they come in, they know they're being questioned over that tag. And in pre-season, mate, that back three, I mean, having Cresswell on the left, someone said yesterday, Cresswell did it, right? What did he do?
Yeah, it was
what
me.
What did he do?
That was me. I know.
What the fuck did he do? I was watching thinking, but what did he actually do other than just line up?
What it was, he didn't do anything wrong. There was a lot of sloppy passing. There was a lot of yeah. There was a lot of sloppy passing. I don't think Cresswell. Look, Cresswell's good technically, isn't he? He can strike the ball. He is good. He's one of the more technical players. But
mate, you get any right winger in the Premier League running at Cresswell, and there's a yellow card, a red card, or a penalty, or or it's just a nightmare, bro. That's the thing. Go on, Sam. Sorry,
I would say I don't want to see any starting lineup with Emerson and Cresswell in it at the same time. Because when I saw that last night, I was like, well, we're done there. We're obviously struggling already, big time.
I mean, Gatesy said the 4-3-3, which if we get Fullkrug, I think it would need to be, because I think you've both said you'd need to have Bowen and Somerville up fucking next to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's gonna need pace around him, and then that could work a treat. It could then. Providing he's got support. What I don't want to see is him isolated, because that's fucking pointless.
Oh, that's pointless. Yeah, that's pointless. But the way you've said it there, mate, that's with him, with Bowen and Somerville either side of him, that's his game. To be honest, that's what Haller needed. When we said about Haller, that's what Haller needed. He needed fucking 2 people up there with him that were close enough to him that he could play off and then get in the box and finish. Mate, all this isolating, Antonio's been a blessing and a curse for West Ham. I love the guy to bits. But because he's the only one in the world that's got that mould, bringing in players to try and fill it, that's never going to happen, especially when you're talking about a winger anyway, not a striker.
No, I know. John says not being in Europe means less games. This is true as well. So you've got literally a week between games if something don't work. If it don't work against Villa, you've then got time on the training ground to try and put it right. So, and didn't we start badly under Pellegrini, and then he turned it around, didn't he? Did we lose the first 4 games?
Yeah, we had I'm sure we had it wasn't a good pre-season.
No. I'm sure. No. But I mean, the first 4 games of the Premier League. I'm sure he started shocking, and then he that first season was fine. We kind of recovered it. It was all right. It was the next season it went bandy, didn't it?
Yeah, but he weren't given a chance. If he'd have been given the fucking budget that Moyes had been given, I think we'd have seen a different reign under Pellegrini, in fairness. But, that's if buts and maybes, isn't it?
But ideally now, what would you like the sort of the squad layout to be moving on? Because look, the big concern for me, I know everyone in the chat's going to think I'm just fucking picking on them. I'm not. I can't stand James Ward-Prowse and Souček. I think they're fucking useless. I think that is the worst midfield pairing in the Premier League. It was last year. It was shit. It's been terrible in pre-season. They've been completely outshone by Potts, who's not even played in the fucking Premier League before. He's a great player, but he ain't really a fully fledged Premier League player yet. Those two players should be outshining him, but you're not seeing it. Are you lot concerned with what to me feels like a lack of desire from the players? Do you not, in pre-season, you've got a new manager. Should these players not be trying to impress him more and giving everything when they're on the pitch?
100%. But like you said just a minute ago about you're concerned about James Ward-Prowse and Souček.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about our defence. Because who's going to be our two centre-back pairings? Because I'm not convinced with Mav and Aguerd. Is Aguerd even still going to be here? I don't know.
I think he will. I think he will. Yeah.
I think he will. Because then you've got Kilman, I'm not sold on. Obviously, he's only played 3 games for us pre-season. But he's played in a Lopetegui system before in the defence. He's been under him. So I thought he would have transitioned into it a bit better than he has.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm being a bit too picky with that.
I don't know. I mean, what I would like to see, like I was saying earlier on, I do think there's something in that. Like with when you've got such a poor midfield, everything else falls to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see what these defenders can do when we've got a proper, good, solid midfield, a real good, efficient machine. Because I do think Aguerd is a modern defender. If you're in possession and you want to play high, he does give you that recovery pace.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's not perfect. He's not the perfect defender, but I think he's probably the best player at the back. I think Aguerd is the best footballer at the back.
Well, mate, he's looked head and shoulders above in pre-season. Yeah. So again, for people saying about negative, no, there's been some positives from pre-season. Like Knife is one of them. Like the way he's been playing. Yesterday he was a bit shoddy, but to be honest, yesterday it looked like he didn't trust giving the ball to either Mavro or Kilman as well, because both of them looked like they was just having a wobble every time they got the ball. And I agree with what you're saying, Nick. The problem is at the minute, with JWP and Souček, you might as well be playing with 9 men, because every Premier League manager, every Premier League player knows if they're coming up against them, they know how to deal with them. You just run through them. They can't. They've got nothing in their game that is unreadable or they can pull something out of the bag. Not at all. They're predictable. They're slow. And I genuinely, like you said, I think they both know. I hope this ain't just a hope. I think they both know that their time's coming to an end, because the way they're playing is like they didn't give a fuck. There's no way they're that arrogant to think, I ain't got to give it in pre-season. Like I'm in or if that is the case, then we've got massive problems, because like you said, Sam, the problem is with our defence is our midfield. It's because of who's in front of them, which is why they're getting highlighted and getting bombarded, and why they're so low on confidence. Look what they've had to put up with over the last 4 years, basically, with a low block and everything else. You can't forget. I know it's not about living in the past, but you can see why we are where we are now because of that shit that we've been doing for the last few years.
100%. I didn't think. I thought that this group of players was better than what they are. I think you might have said that, Sam, earlier on.
Oh, big time.
I think this rebuild is bigger than what I thought it was going to be.
I was going on about it 2 months before the end of last season.
Yeah,
I don't think people realise how big of this rebuild is, because you look at it. Creswell wasn't going to stay, and so you might have needed another left back, at least another centre back, a right back, some midfielders, a left wing striker, and you want us to play a whole different style of system. I really do think this season might be a struggle for the first 2-3 months. I
100%.
really do.
Do you know the other thing I'm worried about? because I've heard people say that goalkeepers don't need a pre-season. I think that's bollocks because there needs to be communication between goalkeepers and their defenders. You know, we've seen that mix up with Areola and fucking Aguirre. I mean, they speak the same lingo, don't they? And they get confused. Where has Areola been?
Is he injured?
I don't know. We had this conversation yesterday. He ain't played one game, has he?
Where the fuck's Areola? So this is the other thing. We're defensively shoddy, but we're playing Fabianski. The goalkeeper's important. Anyone who's played football, they fucking talk. They organise. They bark. You've got to be. They're part of the defence. So that's another thing. Why the fuck hasn't Areola been playing? Confusing, mate.
Who's this Logan Costa? So
I don't know. I ain't got a clue who that is.
I ain't got a clue him. He's come up with a few times. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I'll have a look at him after some stats and stuff. I didn't know who was after him. But anyway,
I think we will get another centre back, especially if the story is true that we're going to be releasing Zuma, because if it looks like we're going to play a back three at times, which I think that we will. I think at times we're going to be playing a back three. That's Kilman, Aguirre, and Dinos. There's no backup, so we're going to have to get another centre back. I know we've got Casey, but you can't go that light into defence. I don't think. I'll tell you the only other thing about Füllkrug is his injury record ain't great. So if you go back the last 3 years, it's not been terrible. The last 3 years have not been bad. I think he's missed sort of the average, 20, 30 days a season on injuries. The 3 years prior to that, he's basically missed 2 years of 3 collectively. He had a full year out when he first went to Werder Bremen, when he transferred from Hanover. Literally fucking ruptured his cruciate. He's had other knee problems. He's done his cartilage. He's had some other. He gets a lot of calf injuries. He's 31 now. This is another thing. Do you not think? Does no one think that we're just paying too much money for this geezer? Either way, 27 million.
For 27 million for a 31-year-old coming towards the end of his career, that doesn't look like a good business in my eyes. But it is. But is he just been bought for this season? Have we literally just pressed the fuck it button and go, we need a striker? The Duran deal's done in the water. We can bring him in. Because when I look at that, I was saying it to Lou earlier, that's more of a David Moyes striker than what I thought Lopetegui was. So what sort of system? Oh, a big geezer who can hold the ball up on his own up front.
Yeah, I would say to that though, I can't see. For me, this one's glaringly obvious. It's because of the pace we've got down the wings, and we need a focal point in the middle to be able to use them. And the way Loppy plays, he's got players normally like that. Someone like he does, he's good in the air. This Fullkrug. We've got 2 very good wingers that will be getting the ball in the box as well. And I think he's an interlinker more than anything else. And to be honest, I tell you what, I've got a funny feeling he's going to do all right for us. I do. I reckon he's going to do all right. Price taking all that aside, if he banged in 15 goals, we'd be well happy with him.
And in a funny,
never done.
No, he's never scored 20 goals in the season, not even in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, and that's in the 15 league. Well, yeah.
Never done it. He ain't prolific. He's not. But go on, mate.
Sorry, going back to that, you said, that's the reason why we've gone for him. Well, why is we going for Duran then? Because they're completely 2 different strikers.
Doesn't make any sense.
That bit don't make sense. But then, Nick, you was sending me some stuff. There might be stuff going. There's always stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And clearly this one don't add up, right? Because they ain't the same in any way whatsoever. It's just a case of, at this stage, though, I'd like you just said, Sam, to have an actual striker, regardless of anything else, he is a fucking striker that has come off not a bad Euros. So you would expect him to be quite up, confident, and ready. Yeah, I'm quite positive about him. I know that YouTube geezer, he's fucking slaughtering him every time. I've stopped putting his comments up now. I'll put a few of yours up, mate. But go on, mate.
Yeah, but I think in a funny sort of way, right? When you look at because this is true as well. I think in a funny sort of way, the profile of striker probably does dictate the style of play that you might see. For instance, if you go out and you buy someone like a Duran, who is what I want, I do think his hold-up player can do that as well. He's a big lad. But typically, if you buy a player like Antonio, you're looking at a player who's going to be up front on their own, running the channels, basically a team that's going to be playing a bit deeper. I think if you're buying someone like a Fullkrug, that's telling me that you're intending to play more on the front foot and get players up alongside him. So that means that you're intending to play a more... Yeah, but that means that you're being ambitious and you think, no, we're going to control games. We're going to get forward. We're going to get... So in a sense, even though Fullkrug isn't the more exciting signing, it might suggest that we're going to be playing better football.
Mate, it has to be, because that's what I'm saying. Why would he? The only way he works, is if you got him there and two people either side. Yeah. That's just the only way. Otherwise, because he can't. You're not going to hoof the ball to him because he's not going to get anywhere near it. That don't make any sense whatsoever. No. And so, yeah, I think it's an attacking signing. Like he is going to be the player that will get in the box. He has, mate. He's got a fucking dynamite shot. He's a great finisher.
Oh yes,
like, I know he hasn't got loads of goals, but he's got a fucking thunderbolt of a strike. He's got a great header, and he's not as slow as, like, for example,
he's not as slow as I make out.
He's fucking faster than Haller was, and you know what I mean. And Haller was a lot younger than him. He's fucking quicker than Haller. He was like a donkey. Yeah. But for me, it's like you said. He is going to be sitting in between two other people, and even if you know what, if he got 5 goals but assisted 20 fucking goals, I'd be happy with that. You know, if he was laying them off to other people to score, then again, job done. Job's a good one.
I'm sitting there trying to think the last time we had a striker with pace.
Antonio, he's not a striker.
Not a striker. I'm not counting him as a striker.
Tevez.
Tevez
was amazing.
On Outovich, he was another one that was a converted winger.
Yeah, converted winger as well.
You can't put Skamaka in it. You can't put Haller in it.
Yeah.
I thought because the best striker I've seen us have is Dean Ashton, and he definitely wasn't a pace merchant, was he?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fullkrug completes West Ham medical.
Can you hear him, Seb? Or is...
Yeah. No, I mean,
oh, that's good.
Yeah. I was just reading off that message about Fullkrug. Yeah, look, you know, people saying being negative. I genuinely think Fullkrug is a good signing. Would I prefer Duran? Absolutely.
All day long.
But is he a good signing? Yeah, he's a good signing. Is Somerville a good signing? He's fucking quality. Yeah, so we're looking good.
I think you've got to gauge, is it a good signing? I think, is he a good player? Does he improve us this year? Yes. Is it a good signing for 27 million? No. I don't think you can say that it's a good signing for that. The same as I don't think Max Kilman's a good signing for 40 million. I don't. But then again, going out, I suppose you've got to offset it. If we're going out and getting Guido, the Argentinian central midfielder, on a free, that probably offsets it a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it does offset it. What was it that Gatesy said earlier on? Was it about John Lyle? Was it?
Good. I'm glad you. Go on, carry on. No, he basically said, "Do you think?" I'll bring up his message. I'll start it, or you did. One of us did. Hold on. He said, It was about that comment. Yeah, there it is. That's from that podcast the other day with Moisey, isn't it? It's from that. Yeah.
Do you know? I've refused to watch it. I watched about the first. I think I watched 30 seconds and wanted to eat my phone. Have any of you two watched that? Have you put yourself through it?
Not all of it.
Not all of it. Yeah, well,
you would hate it, mate. It would set off. I'd love. You should do a watch along.
No,
watching that.
No, I can't. He's full of shit. He's full of shit.
Gold,
mate.
That would be gold,
listen, he done the same when he left Sunderland. Right, he absolutely fucking killed that club. He'd spend more money at Sunderland than any other manager at Sunderland before him. He killed them stone dead, got them relegated, and then spent the next 6 months on fucking interviews like that. Basically, weren't my fault. Was nothing to do with me. He's a wanker. Honestly, the bloke's a wanker. I don't want to listen to anything he's got to say. He's full of shit. No. But what he said there, apparently he said even John Lyle didn't know what the West Ham way is. How the fuck would he know?
That's unbelievable, isn't it? That's what I mean. He's just pulled out. But this is the thing. That's just the dig. That's just the dig at West Ham. There's nothing in that whatsoever. And the thing is, as West Ham fans growing up, going over Upton Park, you know exactly what the West Ham way is because you experienced it. You watched it. You was part of it because everything about the West Ham way was a collective. It was the fans. It was Upton Park. It was what you watched on the pitch. Everything was connected. And right now we've been disconnected for fucking so long because of people like you Moises. That mate, I'm hoping that J-Lo, that we're going to start seeing it come back in, mate. I really do. I'm positive about not the start of the season necessarily. Who knows? We might tread in a pile of shit and get off to a fucking great start.
Look, the first 5 games, it's impossible to predict because we don't really know what we're going to be watching. Not really. We don't know how we're going to kick on.
Don't know who you're going to be watching, do you? That's for sure.
Because don't forget, Postecoglou, Tottenham started really well last year. He changed his style, didn't he? He came in, changed his style. They started well. So you don't know. But we play Aston Villa at home. You expecting a result there?
Or is it a 1-1 draw at home last year and they beat us? Was it 3-4-1 at home? Don't expect nothing of that. I think Ollie Watkins is going to absolutely tear our defence apart.
I do think they're going to beat us. I think we're going to get beat on the opening day. I think they're a settled team. I don't think we're going to win that one. Away to Crystal Palace.
They're confident. They're going to be. If you ask them fans, they'll be going, "Yeah, that's 3 points there. That's for sure." They'll be saying that all day long.
Haven't they got the geezer from Frankfurt as their manager? And the geezer beat us, and they started playing really nice football towards the end of last season.
Yeah.
They've got that Kamada as well, wouldn't they? It was part of the Frankfurt team.
I don't think we'll get much out of that.
Yeah.
Being honest, then we've got City, ain't we?
This is a big one, yeah. West Ham at home to City. What do you reckon?
5-0 West Ham.
And then we go away to Fulham.
Yeah, and how did that go last year?
And after that, we're at home to Chelsea.
Oh, great, yeah.
That's the first 5 games. And look, it doesn't matter. You can be fucking bottom after 5-6 games. You can turn it around. Like I said to you, I'm sure people will correct me, as they always do in the chat. I'm sure Pellegrini lost his first 4 games. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he had a bad start. So you can turn it around. But you know what? In the Premier League, with how competitive it is now, you don't really want an uphill struggle, do you, from the start?
No.
You don't need that, do you?
No. And the other thing is, unfortunately, there will be a spillover. If J-Lo has a bad start, there's going to be a load of West Ham fans that are waiting to just fucking pounce.
The same West Ham fans that get telling us last year, you've got to back your manager.
Oh, yeah. The only way this division goes away is if Lopetegui does succeed. And I want him to. I want him to kick on. I want us to have a fantastic start. Beat Villa. You know, we ain't going to beat... we ain't going to get anything against City, but beat Villa. You know, pick up 2 wins in that first 4 games. That's a success. Mm-hmm. I think if we can get 2 wins in 4, that's brilliant. You know, and I suppose you could look at that. And look, they're achievable wins. You've got Aston Villa, you've got Palace, you've got Fulham. We could nick 2 wins there, definitely. And then if we're playing good football as well, you're going over there, you're enjoying it. Then all of this shit, I think, will start to die throughout the season. But if it does go badly, then it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be.
It is, mate. And picking up on the relevance of what John said about you can improve the team bit by bit, baby steps. I totally fucking agree. The thing is this is what you would have wanted to have seen in the pre-season. It would have been implementing some of them baby steps of where we're looking to improve. And I think that's the disheartening thing about watching our pre-season so far is I've just not seen anything of what it is we're to expect, which is a change. Who was saying it yesterday? Someone kept saying this is like watching Moyes ball yesterday. There was nothing different in there. But yeah, hopefully, like your baby steps is like bringing in your fucking some of the youth, and you can't. We're a better starting 11 than we finished last season already. I would argue that with the players we got in, we are definitely better than where we left off. We just need to see at the minute how's that going to work? Who's he going to play? How's it going to be different? And I think Füllkrug is actually going to be fucking pivotal if we do get him. He's got a lot on his shoulders because that's what we've lacked for so fucking long. And right back, Soufal, we have.
If we go out against Aston Villa somehow in between now and then, and we start with Areola, Max Kilman and another centre, another new centre. Let's say we get to Debo. It could happen. Let's say we get to Debo. Kilman to Debo, Emerson left back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back, this Rodriguez, who is basically a direct replica of Alvarez in the CDM, Paqueta, Kudus, plays Somerville left, Bowen right, Fullkrug down the middle. That's a fucking team.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
So it could happen. It could happen. We could get these players over the line. They could come in. We could absolutely fucking. And do you know what? That is it. I think that's exactly what he needs. That's what Loppy needs. He needs a new fucking team. At least half of these players have got to be new players. Because I just don't. You can see then they're not getting it. I mean the press from yesterday, it was awful. When you saw them running about, like I said to you, it was like a pack of kids running around after the ball. You're like, that's not how you fucking press.
Kick and run. It was kick and run.
You don't press all 11 players, do you?
No. And that is how Palace were cutting through us so easy, because we was all swarming everywhere. They was finding space without even trying, Palace. So he can't be doing that. So he's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of work to do in the next few weeks. He really has. The other thing he could be luring us all into a false sense of security and the Premier League. He could know exactly what he's doing, and we could just go bang against Villa.
Mate, I'd happy to say fucking I got it all wrong then, and Jay knew exactly what's going on. I'd take it all day long. All day long, mate.
You want to put money on it?
No. I won't bet on it. Definitely not. Right, do you want to run through the last few starred comments, Jay?
Yes, let's go then. So what we got? Hold on. The last one, they'll be at the... Hold on, did you star them? Sorry, I'm new to this, people. Micky's normally doing this. The ones got starred here. I'll put this one up from Nick 1.
I think I just heard Sam fart. It's normally Jay, to be fair, that farts.
Yeah, mate, all day long down the WhatsApp. Yeah. All day long.
I'll tell you what we can do. We're going to wrap that up now. We're keeping these to an hour at the moment, people, because the season isn't here yet. And we're just giving ourselves a bit of a break before the season starts, because that's when the marathon shows start again. We'll be doing player ratings. We'll be taking your phone calls. We'll be doing all that. It's all going to be back to normal again. Those shows will be starting at 8, by the way, because they do run late. So we'll be starting at 8, going through, doing the player ratings, then taking your calls from about 9, and aim for an hour, but it'll probably end up being 2 on those. And we'll go from there. But thank you, everyone, for joining in. Loads of people watching us. Sam, thanks for joining us, mate.
Not a problem. Anytime.
It's brilliant. Shame Louis couldn't make it. He can jump on the next one. I hope he's all right. Jay, thanks very much, geezer.
Nice one, lads. Have a great evening, and shout out to everyone as well. And we are fucking positive. Go ahead.
I know.
We're gonna win the fucking league.
We are positive. I'm just nervous. That's all.
Yeah, that's it.
And like I said, most of all, thanks to everyone that watched and in the chat tonight. Love you all. Speak to you soon. Come on, you irons.
See you later.
When you score, you make the West Ham sings. Jimmy on the wing, Jimmy on the wing. Every time you're on the ball, we know it's gonna be a goal. Your real name is Crescencio. La da da da, la da 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 dum, la da 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 dum, la da 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 dum, la da da da.
Welcome to Claret and Booze. I hope you enjoy the show. Come on, you irons.